What is happening, people? United Central here, back with another video. This is the player rating show. We got a man like Musa in the building. Man like Musa, what are you telling me? The top is on. You get the man's shining. You're shining. You're shining.
We say title race.
Title race, man. We're there. You get me? We're there, man. You get me? Shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new, and share this video, man. But share the video and like the video. Everyone say, let's go. Watch where we lose next game. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it in a minute. Smash a like on the video if you haven't. Get them likes up, people. You get me? But yeah, man, you get me. You lot have to beat Leicester, right? You get me? But Musa, man, what are you telling me about that victory, man? You get me? Convincing. People are talking about Leeds rivalry. People say fair Bielsa. Fair who, man? We don't need
that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, it's like Leeds. Like, there's a few teams that I think Man United can do well against, and I think Leeds is one of them. Just because we all knew the type of football that was coming. This is one of them games that Solskjaer could have prepared for, like from the day he got the fixtures and he saw Leeds. He knew what they were about. He's seen them consistently going home or away. They turn up, and this is what Leeds do. If they're a better outfit than you, they're going to beat you. So, meaning if they have better players than some of the teams at the bottom half of the league, they turn them over because they've got, because they play that type of football. But then if you have better players than them, like Man United do, then you're going to get those opportunities. And if your players put them away because they're better than these players, then you're going to win the game. And that's why the counter-attacking football was just suited for Leeds. And that's why even like we're gassed. We beat our rivals 6-2. There's no sugarcoating that. We're gassed. But the reality is that they still came to Old Trafford and had more possession. So that tells you how we played. And I'm saying, and that's just facts, isn't it? That's not us saying whether we wanted to play like that or not. They came, they had more possession in the first half, more possession in the second half. In the first half, they had more passes completed as well. And that's just because we play a counter-attacking football, and they were there for the taking. You know what I'm saying? And Ollie knew that, and he done well. And one of the things, it's easy to say they were there for the taking, but at the same time, Ollie set out the team so we can get over the line. Because sometimes teams are there for the taking and we don't take it and we don't do it. We don't do the job. Like the players are misfiring. Those early goals don't go in. McTominay misses them early goals, and we walk away from that game thinking, right, how did we lose that? They were there from the taking. You know what I mean? So we gotta give him credit on that. But
of course.
But again, for me, I just say
did they play into our hands though? Did they play into our hands?
They did. Of course, they played into our hands.
McTominay just running into midfield, you get me, just bursting through, everyone having time on the ball. This is probably the best game you could ever have in terms of, you know what I mean, playing through. They played into our hands, man, and we took
100%.
full advantage of it. We smacked them up, bro. Smacked them
100%.
Up.
And this is what I'm saying. I'm taking credit for, and I'm as a United fan, the fact that we took full advantage of it. You know what I mean? That we knew what they were going to do. And, as a counter-attacking team, because that's what we are in the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We're a counter-attacking team. So we'll let you have the ball, and as soon as we take that ball off you while you're trying to press us, we're going to hit you on the break and we're going to score the goals. So I feel like we pressed them early while they were trying to play out. We got the early 2 goals, and then from there you saw the spaces. They weren't going, but to give them credit, they were on job. They were still coming at us. They were still doing what they do, and they're going to do that in their next game and then the game after that, and they're going to continue to do that. The question is, are we going to continue to play how we play today? And the style of football that we play today, counter-attacking again as it was, giving up possession to the other team, being more worried about what the other team's going to do than what we're going to do ourselves as a team and impose ourselves. Can that take us to the 21 that we all want to see? Can that style of football, can we continue to play on a counter-attack and win this league? I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's what
it's going to take a lot, man. I think the consistencies will remain to be seen. I think we're unbeaten in 8 now. But the problem was we thought, you know what I mean, Daniel James wasn't going to do well. We thought, what's that going on here? You know what I mean? But credit to the players, man. We stuck in there and we dug in there, man. You know what I'm saying? We got Zayn here saying, Said, you beat a pub team. Once Allegri or Rodgers, and once we get Allegri or Rodgers and get rid of the rubbish, we will have our revenge. Listen, Zayn, man, it needs a lot more than a Glegry, mate. You need to take that whole team out, mate. You know what I mean? But this is it, man. Like the video, guys. If you are watching for now, share this video, please. You get me? But in terms of the tactics, spot on. In terms of what we needed to do, spot on. And McTominay, mate. You know what I mean? We're gonna do the player ratings right now. Let's start from David De Gea. And you guys watching live right now, let us know what you think of him. But David De Gea, man, what are you saying about him, man? Today, come back. Looks solid
He
again.
come back. He looks solid, and he pulled off some good saves because they were on job. They had shots on target. It's not like they didn't have no shots on target. They had shots on target, man. He had to stand up and he had to do his thing. For me, I'm giving him a solid 7 only because of his standards. I'll give him like a strong 7. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was an 8, but he was
7's
definitely
about right though.
Yeah, I'll give him a strong one though, going into that because you know what it is. It's all about confidence, isn't it? And goals breed confidence, and we know how they play. There's a couple of them shots that he saved that could have went in, and had they gone in, the game starts to change again. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give him a solid 7 going into an 8.
Yeah, I reckon that's about fair. Solid 7 going into 8. I think he did what he had to do, and I feel like he made a couple of good saves. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well. This one is a bit one where I think can hit and miss. Wan-Bissaka, man. What's going on with him, man? His concentration, is a bit of a mad one still. He needs to work on that, bro, you know.
But I still look at,
yeah. Go on.
I look at Wan-Bissaka and I look at all our goals. None of our goals come from the right.
None.
Even Daniel James, to get his goal, he had to come on the left.
Facts.
None of the goals. So the thing is, what's going on that right-hand side? We're so one-sided in attack. It's like, if you want to get a goal, you got to come onto the left-hand side of the pitch. That's where you're going to get your chances and your opportunity because that's where all the ball's being played. That's where all the 1-2s are taking place. Everyone over there, Wan-Bissaka, Daniel James in front of him, it's like the brother hasn't had a chance to build any relationships, like any real solid relationships. So for me, I just feel like we're not going to see the best of Wan-Bissaka until we sort out that right-hand side. Something has to give. For me, I just can't see it.
But you got a balanced right midfielder, you know what I mean? Daniel James. Is that still not enough for you?
Nah, that's not enough, man. You can't be having Rashford on the left and Martial sometimes going on the left and having.
Are you not worried about his own defensive ability now? It's like there's a lot of going on. What's right now is the lack of concentration of last minute. He's finding the ball. Last minute, you're gonna get sooner or later. Wan-Bissaka, you know what I mean? It's gonna be caught out a lot, and that's my worry with Wan-Bissaka.
I think at the same time, it's like, is that his style of play that he lets you think that you're gone, and then before he comes and he clamps you? Is that his type? Is that he's a last ditch type of player? But the thing is, he does his job, and sometimes it looks like it's not what you want. But for me, I just feel like Wan-Bissaka, being the youngest in that back four, needs to be led and needs to have leadership. He's the youngest in that back four.
Yeah.
Where is he looking for leadership? You tell me. He's just coming from Crystal Palace.
True.
He had a good season, the first season. Then it got a bit too much. It's at Man United. He's playing a load of games. He's got no backup, so he plays most of the games. He looks for leadership. There's Lindelof next to him. There's Maguire next to him. And then what's going on for that? You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, it's kind of, the jury's out for Wan-Bissaka because we know he's a great defender. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to come against him. All the players that are playing down his side on the left, they don't want to come against him. Top players are saying it, that he's difficult to deal with. So we know he can defend. The question is, what's going like? So for me, it's difficult, man. But today I'll give him a 6, man. I think it was a standard game. I don't want to. I feel like in a game that we won, he didn't do nothing extraordinary, and I think he's kind of set. But the thing about Wan-Bissaka is like, for us to see how good he is, he has to get basically attacked. So he needs to have and
on the back front. He needs to play on the back front, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. The sad thing is that for us to be like, right, he's had a sick game, he has to be doing a lot of defending where he's getting the crunch tackles in. So we're under a lot of pressure by an excellent team. And then we're going to come out and be like, right, he had a good game because he done a lot of defending. But we don't really want him to defend like that because we don't want to be under pressure. So we want to see him going forward a bit more. But for him to go forward without that partnership again, Daniel James is coming in from nowhere. Next minute it's Greenwood. Next minute we're not seeing anything happening from him. So I'm giving him a 6 today still.
And also, you get me. Shout out to the people who are tuning in right now. Please smash a like on the video. I'm gonna put these always as a pair because I feel like, you know, I mean, centre backs always come as a pair. I don't really like judging them both because they both conceded 2 goals today. Both of them weren't at fault. What would you give the pair, Maguire and Lindelof?
If we give the only reason I always score Lindelof a bit higher than Maguire is because of what we paid for it. So the fee that we paid for Lindelof,
I see what you're doing there.
You know what I'm saying? The fee that we paid for him, he's doing a job. Think about it. How much did we pay for Lindelof? Around, how much did we come in? He was around, what, 30 mil or something like that?
Yeah.
So for me...
30 million, 32 million, 30 million.
32, that's what I'm saying. So the money that we paid for him at that price, what he's doing, and if you look at some of the forward passes that he makes, and some of the you know, challenges that he does, and the defending that he does, for a £30 million player, he's done us well. Like we don't, like, you know what I mean? We can't. How much can we really complain about Lindelof? As a pairing, they don't work. You can't have 2 slow guys that are similar. But if you ask me, keep 80 million. And keep a 30 million Lindelof. I'm keeping the 30 million Lindelof.
Wow.
And getting my 80 million back and going in for.
I don't think you're getting that 80 million back though.
That's what I'm saying. We're not getting it back. But that's what I'm saying. So had I the choice, I would have kept that. You know what I'm trying to say? I'd rather. So the question is again, who would we get more money for out of Lindelof and Maguire? And that's a big question. Who, like, both of them playing now and seeing them playing, if a team came in for both of the centre backs, who do you think we would get more money for? Because you'd be surprised. We might get more money for Lindelof.
That's true, actually.
You might be surprised. A team might come in and give us back our 30 million, 35 for Lindelof, whereas we might struggle to get a 35 for Maguire.
Give it the both of them.
The both of them today, I'll give him a 6 again. I'll give him a standard 6. And
even with Lindelof scoring, I'll probably give Lindelof a 7.
I'll give Maguire a 5 for that then.
Okay. I hear you.
I'll give him a 5 and a Lindelof a 6 because I think it was still an average performance. I don't think I saw anything like that made me say like, raw. Like the way the game, I think the game was won in midfield with the runners. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, in a game like this, for me, I would say I would give Maguire a 5 because again, I didn't see anything. Because we won, we'd have to go with a 6 and then Lindelof a 7 because we won. I don't want to say anyone was under average today because we played well, but at the same time, I just want us to understand the team that we played and the way they set up and the tactics that they use. So for us to not kind of over analyze it and think that, you know, we went in there with this smart, like we didn't know what was going to go on today. Everyone knew, and everyone was saying it all week. We know how Leeds are going to set up. We know how they're going to play. But LC plays one way. We know how they play. It's attacking football. So Man United really was well prepared for this team. And I would go for the 6 then. 6 and a 7. I'll go for a 6 and a 7 to be honest, just because he scored.
Thumbnail. I don't know what's going on with the thumbnail, man. I think it's StreamYard are having a lot of problems at the minute, so I will change that at the end of the video. Let's go with Luke Shaw. Came off injured, but still solid though. Still solid. Solid. He kept was it Rodrigo out of bay for most of the game.
I'll give Shaw a 7 today, man. I was happy with what he was doing. I'll give him a 7 today, man. I definitely like what I saw from Shaw. I definitely feel like as much as Tellers goes forward, I think Shaw started to go forward a bit more since Tellers has come. I think it's made him kind of step up his game, and the fact that he has the defensive side over him, we've kind of started to see a bit more of a bit of the old Luke Shaw that we kind of bought. Not exactly, but he's definitely going forward a bit more and he's adding more to the team. And I think the competition, he's relished it. And he was the one before we actually got Tellers that was saying we need more signings. And he knew that a left back was coming.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Are you there, bro?
I'm here.
Yeah. Luke Shaw, I thought, you know what, man? I think a lot of people would be a bit harsh on him, but I think, you know what, man? He dealt with the kind of position. He only did one bad mistake, and that was making a kind of a pass towards Fred, and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? So I'll probably give him a 7 for me. You happy with that 7?
Yeah.
Oh, is he gone?
Now I'm there.
Okay, 7. Okay, 7. Let's go with the midfield. Who's in the midfield? We'll go with Fred. I thought class tonight. Absolutely
Class.
tonight, man.
Class. And this is what I keep on telling people. It's
I'm
like,
sorry,
Fred, you doubted him.
man. You get me, like
You see what I tell people? You see when Pep comes in for you, Pep knows what's going on. I keep on telling man, Fred starts for Pep's team, you know. When Pep came in for him and Jose got him in first, you know, and I keep on telling people, McTominay and Matic, they have bad games. But when Fred's next to them, they both can play. Like, it has to be Fred and someone else in the middle of that park. That's it. It can't be anything else. And that's my thing. Fred allows you to play. Every time Fred plays with McTominay, McTominay has good games. You know what I'm saying? Fred allows him to have those good games. Matic, he can't do it because they both a bit, they're not agile enough for them to move. So my thing is that as much as like people will be like, yeah, McTominay is a defensive midfielder and blah, blah, blah. He never plays the pivot when Fred's there. He's never the deepest back. He gets to play the box to box and Fred's are. So this, for me, tells us Fred's our CDM. He's our CDM.
Yeah, man.
So if Fred's our CDM, he needs backup. Yeah, that's it. So for me, Fred needs backup. So that's all. So, like example, what I say is this all the time. The roles. This is how I see that 2 and 1, the 2 holding midfielders and the number 10. I see it as this. I see it Fred, and his backup is Matic or McTominay, and then I see Pogba, and I see his backup is Van der Beek, and then I see Bruno, and his backup is Mata. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see the game. So when I see our best 11 going out there, I see our best 11 as a Fred, Pogba, Bruno. Okay, cool. Fred can't play today, so we're gonna put McTominay in and Pogba. Pogba's not playing. We're gonna put McTominay and a Van der Beek in. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see the type of players that we're bringing in for the other. I don't play in my teams when I'm picking my best 11. I don't play a Matic and a McTominay together or a Fred, really. I think that those 3 are kind of fighting for the CDM. But to be honest, McTominay is more of a box-to-box. As much as we're trying to force him to be the Carrick and all of that, that's not really him, man. The brother does want to play. The only thing that we're saying is that like today he had a good game. And sometimes there's going to be games in the season like now where we're playing 6 games in 16 days and we got to bring in McTominay. You know what I mean? We got to bring them in and they got to play the game. So we don't have a problem as a fan base. A lot of people think that, people don't, they got issues with McTominay. And but no, we don't. We're just saying that he has a place in the squad. And Ollie should know that himself. He had a place in this squad when he was a player. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play the big games, all the games. He used to come in and he used to add. So there's nothing wrong with that. And we're saying that's his position. You know what I'm saying? But for me, Fred had a cold game. I'm giving him I want to give him an 8,
I think an 8, man. I think 8.5 if you want to be. You know what I'm saying, bro? I think underrated player. You know what, man?
Underrated.
Today was everywhere, man. Everywhere today. All right, let's move into Scott McTominay. I call it in the video KAKA today. You know what I mean? The kind of movement. You remember that game against what's it called? AC Milan versus United when KAKA put two hands and what's it called? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like that touch,
gliding,
was sensational, mate.
He was gliding,
man. And I'm like, gliding. Yo, you know what I'm trying to say to you, bro? And for me, listen, you can't argue about maybe a 9, man.
No, I think he's getting a 9, and I think he stood up, and I think it was the right game for him, and I think knowing that as a manager, knowing that these men are going to give you space in the middle of the park. These men are going to allow you to play. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go for goal. You're going to go for goal. You're going to have that space. And I think these games of time, they're good. It's a different pressing style to a Man City or Liverpool that get on top of Scott. And Scott can't handle and it's a bit too much for McTominay. It's a different type of game. You know what I'm trying to say? It's even different from a Leicester because a Leicester's pressing is different. I don't even know if Scott McTominay can handle that type of Leicester. But again, I definitely, give him his accolades and his flowers today, man.
You know what, man? What is he now? What do you think McTominay is? Is he a player that we should allow more to be box to box and drive that midfield? Because when you look at him, yeah, you're thinking he's not a classic CDM where he likes to play it simple. He's always looking to move forward. He's trying to like be a bit more energetic in there. You know what I mean? We should use him as a player like we used to use, like, I don't know, like Darren Fletcher used to have their moments where he just drive, you know what I mean, forward. Excuse me. You know what I mean? And just kind of build that attack.
Yeah, McTominay's been playing. He's been playing top league football for about 3 years now. How long has he been playing this?
About 3 years since Mourinho, 2017 time.
Yeah, it's about 3 years now. Yeah. So the question I would like to ask is, McTominay is a box to box. He's not a CDM. Yeah. So the questions I ask now: who are the other box to box players that we have? Because as much as I rate what he done today and the work that he put in, the man played and he stood up. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him his flowers, and I'm giving him a 9. But the question I ask, does Van der Beek have that same type of game in a game like this? Does he score 2 goals? Because he scored 2 goals. Can he score 2? Because the question is, we got 2 box-to-box players. Yeah. Van der Beek, and then we got McTominay. That's Van der Beek in a game that's open where he can pass, move, because we know he scores goals. A chance, though? He hasn't been given a chance. So that's what I'm saying. So a Van der Beek that's been playing consistently from the start of the season, that knows his players, playing in that position with Fred, does he do the same thing? Or are we trying to say that he can't score 2 goals in a game like this and also grab a couple assists? So that's the question. That's the only question I got, is that if I've got an option of having a box-to-box midfielder in my team and I've got Scott McTominay or Van der Beek, who do I go for? I go for Van der Beek, and I still think that we have the same type of game. Do we win by 6? I don't know. Do we win by 7? Is it 4-0? Is it 3-1? But I just know we win. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think we win more as a possession-based team rather than a counter-attacking. And that's the only difference. You know what I mean? I think when we play with people like Scott, it has to be counter-attacking. It's not possession-based. You know what I'm saying? So I think like if we play with Donny van der Beek... So
next week against, I don't know, let's say Wolves at home, who would you play?
Wolves at home, it's the same back 4 or back 5, I should say, with De Gea in goal.
That kind of game, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say to you is like, them kind of games, you don't play Scott McTominay because you need to make space. You need to
you don't. Like I said to you, I play Fred all the time as our pivot in that 2 with someone else. And the question is, if Pogba don't play, I play Donny van der Beek. That's it. We know Bruno is Bruno. Bruno's doing his thing. The only time, on these other fan channels, a lot of people say that Pogba's best position is where he's playing now. And the question, the only reason I'll argue against that is that because that's not where he got his top goal scoring and top assists, playing in that position. It was in a 4-3-3. So how can he get his best numbers, career numbers ever, in a certain position, but you still think that the position that he's not doing all of that is his best position? I just don't get it. But it is what it is, isn't it? This is where we are. He's playing behind Bruno, and because he's so talented, he can still do a job. It's a minor. I think Pogba playing there consistently with a CDM next to him can get 10 goals easily a season from there and a load of assists. And that's good from a player from that position. So there's nothing wrong with that. He's not going to get his 16, 17, but Bruno playing there wouldn't get his 16, 17. So, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I just feel like getting back to McTominay, he played, he was picked by the manager. What are you giving him? I'm giving him a 9. You know, he was picked by the manager. He came in, he done his thing. He had a good, because why I give him a 9 as well is that I might have went for an 8 or something like that. The timing of his goals were important.
Brilliant. He finished them off. He killed them off, really.
And he killed them off. And that's what I'm trying to say. And he also gave a belief to his teammates that, hold on, we're about. This is it. We're here. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening today. Like, we're not losing this one, nor are we starting it poorly. And it also helped us as a fan base at home to kind of get gassed and be like, like we're in today. Because we know them man start strong. Had they gone 2-0 up that quick, it would have been squeaky bum time. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me. You know what I mean?
2-0 up. So
Yeah, man, 100%, man. We've got nearly 200 people watching live, guys. Elliot, if you do want to become a member, press a join button or go in the link in the description. There's a link there, and you can be a member. You get me. Shout out to everybody supporting. But yeah, man, smash a like on the video. We got Bruno Fernandes, 2 goals.
2 goals.
I don't think he got an assist, did he? Yeah, I
No,
don't think he
not
got an
today.
assist. 2 goals. Wasn't really effective in the game, really. If you look at it, really, there was other people that shone more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What would you assess Bruno Fernandes? You know what I mean? Very, very effective again, isn't he?
He's effective. He done his guy again. And again, Bruno knows he has to rate Martial. Martial wins him a lot of penalties. When Martial plays, he gets a lot of penalties, and he knows it. Martial does win him a lot of penalties. But again, Bruno done what he had to do, man. You know, he's whether or not he's got that badge on, he's the captain. Bruno's the captain. So when he's on the pitch, the players feel.
Oh, he got assist from McTominay. My bad. Yeah, assist from McTominay. So he got, you know what I mean? Like, still,
yeah, 2 goals and
still,
assist.
I feel like he never was in the game. You know what I mean? Like, there was other players that were just like
moments in there. He had moments, but what I realize now, Bruno's our captain now. I don't care who wears the armband. He's really the captain. So when he's on the field and he's telling players to move left and right, press, go forward, and he's talking and he's active and he's giving the players the morale to do this, like to play as a team. That's something that I think we kind of take for granted. And I feel like even how effective he is and the standards that he set since he's come to Man United, I think it's something that it's starting to become normal. But it's only last season before we got him, before January, and before we got him in, we were crying out for a player like that. And now he's set these standards so high that for Bruno, it's just an 8. You know what I mean? It's just an 8. But really, it's not. Yeah. It's not. It's not. Bruno set a high bar right now. So we're looking at it as something standard and normal, but it's not. So I'm definitely giving Bruno an 8 on today's performance because he just turned up. And Bruno's a solid 8 a lot of games throughout the season. You know what I mean? He comes and he performs and he can walk off the pitch looking at the man. I'm like, I've done my thing. I don't know about you, man.
I know it is. I like that. Yo, listen, I helped out. What did you do?
Yeah.
You know when they say, exactly. You know when you're like, you know what I mean? You're doing a project and that, and then the person or like the PowerPoint slides and that. You know what I mean? Like the uni assignment, and they say, yo, listen, man, don't mind it. What did you do? I deserve all the grades.
Yeah, you know that's what I'm saying. So when it's peak in the dressing room, he's just like, I beg, man, don't look at me. No one look at me because I done my thing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now we can't let him go, man. We can't let him go anywhere, man. Bruno FC, man. Come on, man. I'll probably give him an 8. You know, man. I'll probably give him an 8 again. Another high 8 for me. You know, I'm trying to say to you, man. High. But who else is out there? Is that the midfielders? Yeah, already. We made the midfielders, haven't we? Let's go with Daniel James. You know what? Yeah. So we have to big up Daniel James today because he could have easily fumbled in that game, but that game suited him to a team, man. You know 100%, what I mean?
100%.
The way we pressed, the way we went in moments, he looked confident. I know he had a few moments where he was a bit, you know what I mean, iffy with his touch, yeah. But you know what it is, yeah? I've never had anything against Daniel James because you know why? I know what player he is. I always want him to succeed because I know, we can't expect much from him. But when he does it, you get me? You got to give him big up. And today, got a goal with his left foot. You get me? Like, did well for most of the game. I think, you know what, man? I'm going to give him a 7.5, you know.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. I think, like, he came into a game where he had to do a lot of running and a lot of pressing. And that's one thing that he's good at. He's good at the press because he's fast and he's got a lot of energy. So if you tell him press, he's got the energy to do it. Even balls that are lost causes, but if he runs for them, it just makes the defender have to run and get tired as well. Because more time it's like the ball's off. We know the ball's gone off, but the fact that he chases it, the defender starts chasing it, and then it's like all pressure for no reason. So all that running that he does, it's a part of the contribution to the team. It allows us to push forward. Allows us to have breathers. And when players need breathers through, in the game and the game management. So I rate him for that, man. And again, when you get picked to play for Man United, it's not on him to be telling Ollie, man, guess what? I think these men are better than me. Let them play. No, he's not going to say that. He's just going to step up. And this is why sometimes I find it difficult. It's like we're not even brushing the players who we don't believe are starters in Man United. But we're just saying that we believe that they're like impact players and we should use them as that. And the only reason as a fan base we start to get upset is because they're starting. And that's the same thing we had with Fellaini. Like man didn't hate Fellaini, but we were just saying he's not a starter. He's an impact player because of his attributes and what he does. You know what I'm saying? And when Fellaini used to come off the bench and get the goals, we cheered him and we loved it. But then when we see him start over a player, we're like, come on, how you gonna? We got like them times there. We had my man from Bayern Munich, and he was getting what's his name? He was getting Jose weren't playing him. What's his name?
Yeah, exactly. What's his name again?
Schweinsteiger or something.
Schweinsteiger, yeah, Bastian.
Yeah, Schweinsteiger, yeah, Bastian. And we're like, these men are possession ballers. They keep the ball like play them in it. So that's
he's got a place in the squad, innit? He's got a place in the squad.
He's got a place in the
squad. Right side. Today, what are you giving him today?
Today, I'll give Daniel James a 7.5. Come a strong 7 guy into an 8. I wouldn't give him an 8. I wouldn't say that it's because of his goal, but I'll give him the 7 like we gave Lindelof, just because he done that. He scored a goal. You know what I mean? So I'll say he's a 7.5 of strong 7, but I wouldn't say he had the same impact as Fred or like what we gave Bruno. So I'll say he was just a bit underneath them, but he done what he had to do. You know what I'm trying to say? So I rate him for
man,
that
come on. You know what I'm saying? Someone says, hey, Ryan Stewart says, United absolute class today. They need to see this more. Yo, big up, man. If we see this more, we're winning the league, man. You know what I mean, bro? Like, come on, man.
Listen, if teams come and play football, then we're going to counter-attack. We win. But they don't do that.
No.
When teams come like Arsenal, what did Arsenal play? 7-2-1. Yeah. That's their formation. Their man are playing 7-2-1. When man come and play 7 at the back, we can't deal with that type of stuff. When players like we have problems like breaking it down as that, and the problem that is because he doesn't play the ballers, innit? Sadly, he'll go to a team like that and not play the ballers. If you want to break down a team like that, like I was chatting to someone earlier today, and he said that the way Leeds are so open, he thinks we could have played. I don't know what you think, but he said he thinks we could have played Donny Holding and Bruno and Pogba because of how open they are, and just went for them and battered them. Yeah, because he said it wasn't a game to just like hold back and defend. It was a game for we're better than you.
As well. They played one. They played Rodrigo in the midfield. He's a striker.
Yeah, and that's it.
You know what I mean?
And that's it, because they had injuries though, and that's another thing we have to realize. Leeds had a couple injuries, man. So
yeah, man, we'll give Daniel James a solid 8, 7.5, 8 if you want to call it. Let's go with Rashford.
Rashford.
No goal involvements today. Nothing, not really.
You see Rashford, yeah. I don't know if the hype's getting to him. He played well, but the brother don't pass no more.
I know he don't pass no more. He don't pass
no more. I don't know if the hype's got to him like Rashford. We love what you're doing, but it's like, you see Martial, he passes, man.
Yeah.
He sets up.
He got 2 assists in it, Martial.
He got 2 assists.
And
he got the penalty. Yeah, won the penalty. Like, he sets up. Like, every time I see Martial in a position where he thinks, you know what, I can't score this one, he sets up. Like, Rashford turns on the other foot, then comes in, then just strikes it, and it hits the defender, and it's like, I love what you're doing, but he doesn't know that a game like today and just 2-3 assists and not being greedy, we're giving him 9s because we're saying you done bits today. It's not always about, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's difficult, man. I feel like this is, and another thing then I say to myself, maybe he just doesn't have the brain for it yet. Maybe it's not that he's not trying to pass. It's just that we're not rating the fact that Martial's got the brain already. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I rate him, because I always tell, man, these men are under 25s. You know what I mean? None of them are at their peak. You know what I'm trying to say? So
I thought he looked bright in terms of his touches were good, like, good feet and whatnot.
But my thing is this: if you look at the game today and how open Leeds are, look at the running Daniel James was able to do, and he doesn't have the ability Rashford has. So anyone with ability today shines. Do you know what I mean? Because of how open they are, and they weren't closing down like that. So Rashford shone today because of the game that we were playing and because of his attributes of running at players. So he looked bright. He was on movement. He was doing stuff. Wolves is going to be a different game when you try to run at them, man. Like that. It's going to be a whole different.
They're going to sit. They're going to sit, man. They're going to sit. I think we've not won them in the last 2 years at home. I think. When was the last? We've not won them since at home. We've not won them, have we? at home. I think we won them in the FA Cup.
or something.
Just the FA Cup, that's it. But that was a 1-0 dogged win. We've not won them, so that'll be a big test for Ollie to get over that one. So Rashford, I'll probably give 7.
7.5, man. I'm giving him a 7, man. I'm giving him a Daniel James performance, man. You know 7, what I mean?
Yes.
Without the goal. Yeah,
I'll give him a 7 as well. I'll give him a 7 as well.
I'm giving him a 7. So for me, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7, man. I'll take that to Martial, man. What are you saying about Martial?
Listen, man, you know what it is with Martial, yeah? I think we've got to be careful. You know what I mean? Aubameyang is not doing anything for Arsenal. No assist. He's getting 1 goal. But what Martial is doing off the ball, the kind of the link-up play he's doing, you know what, man? You've got to give him everything. But what he's not doing is it's not finishing his dinner. And that is very, very... Do you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, he is. But yes, this is what I was telling someone the other day, though. Most of the, not all the teams, but a lot of the top teams, strikers take their penalties, innit? So the strikers take their penalties. So I feel like the amount of penalties that he's won this season already for Bruno, had he, like, Martial, you get fouled, you take your penalty. Martial's scoring goals in the league because he's already won about 3 penalties in the league. You know what I'm trying to say? So even today, had it been that the striker takes the penalty, he gets the penalty, he scores 1, he has 2 assists, we're saying, great game. You know what I'm trying to say? So the fact that he doesn't take the penalties, I think it kind of, it does take away in terms of his goal tally. But as a striker, if people are rating my man, if man's rating my man at Liverpool for doing what he does,
exactly.
Firmino, and they're raving about him. The biggest accolades, they're raving. Firmino, he doesn't have to score. It's not about scoring. It's what he does off the ball, blah, blah. Then what about Martial? What's he doing off the ball? You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, Martial for me. To be honest, for me, he was close to my man of the match, watching throughout the whole game. For me, because seeing what he done as a striker and just seeing that how he's grown and that he's seeing opportunities, you know what I'm saying? He's putting balls in for people, and he tried to put a third in for McTominay to get a hat-trick for the header. You see that one? When he, the little chip that he gave in there. And and the Martial, we know, he's capable of cutting and banging it on the other foot. He can bang it as well on both feet. He's not shy. But he knows that McTominay's in a better position and he's going for the hat-trick and he's putting the ball in there, whereas, you know, the other guys that are normally up front, they're not sharing like that. So for me, boy, Martial, for me, he was a close man of the match for me, coming in second, you know what I'm saying, for me, because he done well, man. So for me, I'm giving Martial an 8, but I felt to give him a 9. It's just because he didn't score. Had he scored today, I was giving him a 9. It was a solid 8.
You know what? I give him a solid 8 as well, man. I give him a solid 8 as well. I feel like for me, Martial, the goals will come, man. If he's doing that without goals, a lot of players, they do that without goals. They don't do that. And he's doing that with a lot of goals, with a lot of play, just without the goals. But it will come, man. It will come. A lot of people don't look at Jesus, man. Jesus does a lot of work off the ball. Very, very good for City. And I feel like it goes unnoticed. You know what I mean? So I think Jesus...
But the facts are, we miss him. When Martial was injured, we missed him. When Fred was injured, we missed him. And this is what I tell people, because there's no one holding up the ball. Everyone just wants to run off the ball. He does both. Yeah. It's serious player that is there, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Serious. We had a couple substitutes as well, though, innit, today?
You there? Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm there, yeah. We had a couple subs that came on as well today, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we're gonna go with the. Have we done everyone yet? That's okay. 8. Let's see. Boy, the substitutions weren't that great. You know what I mean? In terms of, I don't think they had much impact in that game. Tellez came on. He did all right. You know what I mean? Got a couple of shots in there. Van der Beek. What'd you give him?
Van der Beek, Van der Beek was tidy. We can't really score him, but I think he was tidy. I like when he came on. He was tidy again. The brother's tidy. Again, one thing that I learned from Van der Beek when I see him is that he's a proper number 8 or a 6. He's not a 10. You know, the 10 that we're trying to play, like, because to be a number 10, you gotta be a bit more freestyle, like Bruno or Pogba, where you're not as tidy. You know what I mean? You're not a system player, because he's more of a system type of man. And you know what I'm saying? So seeing him in the 10, he can do it, but I feel like he's better coming in late from an 8 position or playing the 6. And one thing I realized, he can tackle, man. The brother's tenacious, and he's still telling players where to go, where to pass the ball. I'm seeing him telling man like Maguire, spread it. Oh, Bissaka's free. You know what I'm trying to say? So when I'm seeing him talking and coming on, he's confident. You know what I mean? So again, for me, I really want to. For me, if we're going down this road of not playing Pogba, then I want to see Donny start, because I don't. And this is the problem I'm having. How do we not start? How do we have 5 changes today, I believe, and Van der Beek still not playing? But especially
does he fancy him anymore? Does he fancy him anymore because he feels like other players can do the job better?
I don't know, because he wanted Grealish. So would Grealish be on the bench? Is this what he would have done to Grealish?
Where would Grealish play then?
This is what I'm saying, because Grealish plays on the left. He's not playing. He's playing Rashford there, or he plays in the middle of the park. So what would he be? What would my man Ollie be doing with Grealish if we had Grealish?
There you go then. And then let me know in the comments below, guys. I mean, would he play Grealish? Would he play Grealish, guys? Yeah, I don't know where he would play him, because you would have thought that Donny Van der Beek would play.
Yeah, I thought he would be playing. Now, someone Anis is saying that he's definitely a number 10, but what type of number 10 is he?
Because he can play variant, man. I like the variant option. I like the variant option of 10, box to box, 8, 6.
The question I asked, I've seen him play 10. I've seen him play 10 for us a couple times. I've preferred him when he's been deeper. The question I asked, if Bruno gets injured, we got 6 games in 16 days. You know, God forbid Bruno gets injured. If Bruno gets injured, who's our number 10? Who's stepped in enough times? Because obviously I'd say Paul, but who's stepped in enough times to have the feel? Because no one's really the brother. Like he doesn't. Bruno plays every game.
This is it.
When is he going to rest Bruno?
He's it, man.
Every game. You know what I'm trying to say? So if he's playing every game, if he's playing every game now and he pulls up injured, and this is the thing about Ollie. Ollie builds his team around one player. When he came in, he built it around Pogba. Pogba got him the job. After he got him the job, he realized, you know what? We need more ball players. We ain't got enough. Pogba, I'm going to need you to go back and help out. Then he got Bruno. Pogba got injured. He's built the team around Bruno. So my thing is, if now Bruno gets injured, does he now call on Pogba, the man that wants to leave, the man that's not playing against Leeds? You know what I'm saying? As much as Pogba's gas, but he's still saying, how am I not playing against Leeds? Van der Beek's keeping quiet, but he's still saying, how am I not playing against Leeds?
Bro, that's absolutely spot on, bro. How is he not playing against Leeds?
That's how he's asking. He's thinking it's an open game.
I feel for him, you know. At this rate, man, he probably won't make the Netherlands squad, mate. You know what I mean? Like, because it's based on game time, man. When you're not having no form leading to a European Championship, it's going to hamper the whole squad. It's going to hamper yourself. You lack confidence. You know what I mean, though?
Or they're both going to go away and they're just going to turn it on, and the whole tournament is going to be about how have they not played. The whole tournament will just be like, how has this guy been wasted? Because the Dutch, the whole of Netherlands is already cussing United for not playing one of their most gifted players. You know what I'm saying? So if he goes away and has a great tournament, it's just going to be he's wasted at Man United. He should never have went there, etc., etc. So it's going to be a lot of that. So again, man, the thing about Ollie is that because we got so much, like I think there was a point that I heard earlier, someone mentioned that because we've got so much games and we have to have a rotation squad, someone saying, has Ollie accidentally fallen onto a system of rotation, that meaning that if the players get used to playing in a rotation system in terms of they get used to being rotated and then they're able to somehow get form through rotation, will they end up being the strongest in line to win the league? Because when everyone else starts getting injuries, players wouldn't have played. Has he fallen onto something by accident in his freestyle? Do you know what I'm saying? Because we're playing a different type of season. It's a close season, no fans. The seasons were like they're squashed in. We had to finish off last season. Players had to come back. Players are getting injured. McTominay came off injured, I think, a groin or something. Was he injured when
McTominay
he
came off with a groin. Luke Shaw was injured as well.
This is what I'm trying to say. So with all of this going on, but the fact is, because he's always chopping and changing, the players that come in next week are still warm. They've already played because Ollie's just changing, you know what I'm saying? So when Tellers comes in, he's already been playing. So it's not going to be like he's just come out the cold. When Matic comes in now for McTominay or Pogba, he's warm because he was just playing the other day. So has he stumbled onto this system of chopping and changing, but it's allowing the players to gain some type of consistency through this? Because he's been chopping and changing the last 8 games and we haven't lost. So that's the consistency right there, and it's a chopping and changing consistency. Do we say
that Ollie, you know what I mean, is pulling a masterstroke, or are we still on the lines of there's no, what was the word I'm looking for? It could easily go wrong, should I say? What's the constant variable for you? Like a lot of people are saying, give Ollie credit, give Ollie credit, give Ollie credit. You can to an certain extent, because today he put Daniel James in there and you're thinking, wow, you got it right. Yeah. For a whole season, you know what I mean, on the run we got in now, do you say now if you lose to Leicester and you draw to Wolves, what's going to be the kind of the talking points then? Because I won't be surprised. I'm not going to say Ollie out, or Ollie this and that. My kind of belief is that I've always thought Ollie isn't good enough long-term wise. And Man United is a long-term club. We're not here for 6 months, 1 year. We're here to win titles, aren't we? I always say to everyone, are you happy with top 4? Then they say to me, no. Then I say to them, right, are we going to win the league with Ollie? They say to me, no. So I said to them, why are you wasting your time then? Why are we wasting our time? I don't know. We'll talk about this in tomorrow's podcast or whatnot, but just to kind of touch on it, of like, we are on a good run. We are 8 wins, no defeats in 8. Yeah. What is the kind of moving forward? What is the consensus now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Again, I
still have Ollie out. A lot of people are thinking I'm Ollie in, but I never flip-flop. But you're going.
No. Well, you're saying the only reason we're at 2 years now of Ollie's reign, and where we are now, I think it's even more on Ollie to kind of show us what he's about. Yeah, because
people are saying this is if we don't get this title, we'll say people will say, but Ollie's still in transition. Is this team?
And that's the problem. No, it's not enough. For my thing is, Ollie's 2 years in, spent nearly £300 million, and he's in a title race. He better acknowledge that he's in a title race. So don't try and dampen our expectations, because he came to Man United to be in title races. It's Christmas, and he's ahead of Spurs, ahead of Chelsea, ahead of Man City. The only team that's really ahead of him, who we would consider real title contenders, is Liverpool. And he's got a game on hand on the rest of these guys. He is in a title race. You know what I'm saying? Form-wise, he's picked up the most points in the last calendar year. So all of these stats that they want to use for him, they better stand up now and own them. You've picked up the most points in a calendar year from last year, December, to this year. You're basically 2 points off the top if you win your game in hand. You haven't even won your game in hand yet, and you're still in front of some of your closest rivals for the top 4 and for this title race. So then how can Ollie turn around to us as a fan base and say, nah, we're not expected to win the league this season? How can he?
That's why I want to say, you get me? By the way, smash a like on the video, people. We are 14 away from 200 likes. That's what I want to say to people. You know what I mean? Be truthful to yourself. Like, they're telling me, if we win the league, I won't be kind of like, say, you know what? I'll put my hands up and say, Ollie, you proved me wrong. But when the other side of the argument for them is, and I say to them is, well, if we don't win the league this season, with the way it's going and the way the league is bonkers and the way we've got a good squad, 300 million worth of talent, they will then say, but still give him time because we're still building something. It's still in transition. You can't have it both ways then. When you're saying to me, give credit to Ollie, then you can't have it both ways and say, when we don't win the title, we're still in transition. Well, we're really not.
You can't. Ollie, for me, if Ollie doesn't believe that he can win the league with Man United because he still hasn't come out, he's in a title race. And mark my words, As soon as we get a bit closer, the whole news, like the whole press is going to put United in this title race. And when they do, Ollie has to own it, because if Ollie doesn't believe that he's in the title race, then he has to go. Because what we're saying, those people who want to get Ollie out, had it been the managers we're saying we want in, Poch and others, and they're in this position, they're going to tell you that they're in a title race and they believe they can win the league. So if Ollie doesn't believe he can win the league when he's 2 points off the top, basically at Christmas, when is he going to think he can win it? Do you know what I'm trying to say? If Ollie doesn't believe that he can win the league, when is he going to think that he can win it?
Well, there you go.
So for me,
and that's for me the stopgap. And I feel like for me, that's where I felt, you know what? This is what I'm on about. And we're going to discuss this more and more in the podcast tomorrow. You know what I mean? And we're probably going to talk about in Liverpool. Are they really fearing us tomorrow? That podcast will be tomorrow at 6:30 tomorrow. We'll do that podcast. But Musa, man, we're enjoying this, man. Good weekend. Tottenham lost.
Good weekend. Tottenham
lost. Chelsea hopefully lose tomorrow. Liverpool won convincingly.
Well, for Arsenal, though. These men are getting relegated, though.
They're going to get relegated, man. They're going to get relegated, man. I'm telling you right now, they're going to get relegated, man.
If they don't, so when are they going to sack my man? My man has to get sacked.
Well, there you go, then. That's what I always say to people. A lot of people are saying, oh, why are you deluded? Why you don't want to support Ole? Well, people are still supporting Arteta and they still think that he will turn it around. Do you know what I mean?
Got to go, man. The brothers got to go, man. They need to go and get Rafa in. They need to go and get Rafa in. Someone like Rafa in to come and
Chelsea tomorrow, West Ham. Hopefully West Ham can win tomorrow, you get me? But
100%.
Yeah, man. That's been your player ratings, guys. It's been a pleasure. Guys, before you leave this video, smash a like on the video, subscribe to United Central, go follow Musa and revert to Islam on Instagram. You get a big up to Musa for always supporting the channel. And yeah, man, tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow, 6:30 tomorrow, or 6 o'clock. I'll decide tomorrow. 6 o'clock or 6:30. Straight Jacket Podcast is back. We'll be discussing whether Man United can believe they're in the title race and whether Liverpool fear we are in the title race. But yo, guys, it's been a pleasure. Like the video, subscribe to United Central.